Steve Kornacki at the board again with the interesting math emerging on this eve of the Iowa caucuses. And I'm now told former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has been able to join us by telephone after landing in Des Moines. Madam Secretary, thank you very much for being with us. I know you are traveling as a family right now in this past 24 hours with your husband, your daughter, your granddaughter, and son-in-law in tow. Do you think all of them are surprised to be in Iowa at this point of the campaign? Meaning, was this always planned to be there en masse?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it is something that I've been looking forward to. Of course, Chelsea and Bill have been doing a lot of events for me, not only here in Iowa, but in other places, which has really been terrific because of the reaction they get. And then I wanted the whole family together as we go through this first contest with the caucuses tomorrow night.
Madam Secretary, a surrogate of yours, Patty Doyle, said today that every day Senator Sanders is, quote, inching closer and closer to being an everyday politician. Surrogates rarely speak without permission of the boss. Is that your position on your competition?
Well, look, I think we are seeing the contrast drawn in this election, which is more than appropriate. It's timely. But I'm very proud of the Democratic side because we have focused on issues. We do have substantive differences on issues. But if you compare that with what we see on the Republican side, which is mostly about insults, I think it's giving potential caucus goers and voters a way of comparing, contrasting, and making up their minds. And I think that's healthy. It's good for the electorate to have that opportunity.
On the Democratic side, though, were you surprised today after his comment at the debate about your emails that was welcomed by the Democratic Party? He changed today to calling it a serious matter. Did that take you by surprise?
Well, you know, he's been moving toward a more negative campaign for some weeks now, and I'm disappointed because I think he had made it clear he wanted to run on issues and he wanted to run a positive campaign. That's really one of his claims. So I'll let him speak for himself and his campaign. I'm going to continue to talk about what not only Iowans but Americans are talking to me about, and I'm on my way to my last big rally here in Des Moines at Lincoln High School, and I'm really looking forward to it. People have been working so hard for so many months, and I feel good. I feel like we've got a great organization, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Madam Secretary, it's Rachel Maddow here. Thank you very much for talking with us. I have a question for you about your other opponent. We've had some reports that your campaign supporters are planning to cross over at some caucuses to join Martin O'Malley's supporters, basically as a tactical move to keep O'Malley's campaign viable, to deny Martin O'Malley's supporters the chance to defect to Bernie Sanders. Is that part of your plan? Are you encouraging that?
You know, this is the first I heard of that, Rachel. I have no additional information. I know that as you get down to the caucuses, I experienced that back in '08, and apparently it's quite a tradition. People are, you know, standing in one corner, moving to another corner. So we'll just wait till the music stops and see where everybody is.
Let me ask you about one very specific Iowa policy issue where Senator Sanders has taken a stand. He's running ads on it. He's campaigned on it. And I just don't know your position on it. And that's this planned back-in crude oil pipeline that has been proposed for running through Iowa. It's got a lot of people on the Democratic side of the aisle sort of up in arms. Senator Sanders strongly against it. Do you have a position on that pipeline?
Well, I've spoken out against it on numerous occasions because I've said that although it is a state issue, this particular permitting process is the province of the state of Iowa. It's not a federal government decision. all of these pipeline decisions need to be looked at in a much broader context. You know, my goal is to move us toward clean, renewable energy. This particular pipeline is not a natural gas pipeline, as I understand it. It's an oil pipeline. And I think we should not be making these ad hoc decisions. We ought to be looking at how we have an energy transition. So I've said we need to look at every element of it. I've urged the state to do so, the health, the environmental, but more than that, the overall energy needs of the Midwest and beyond. So I've spoken out against it. I think it is something that deserves a lot of attention before it's just rubber stamped.
Secretary Clinton, Bernie Sanders' campaign has announced late today that they raised a huge amount of money last month. They raised $20 million in 1 month. Is he raising more money than you are at this point? And are you raising enough money to still win and still have gas in the tank for the general election if this goes a very long time in terms of this fight for the nomination?
Oh, I have no doubt about that. I mean, we're going to have whatever resources we need to go until we secure the nomination. And I think that the people who are supporting me have been absolutely terrific. They gave us the opportunity to have a record-breaking first year. And in addition, of course, Rachel, I'm not only raising money for myself, I'm raising money to help Democrats up and down the ballot, something I care deeply about. I want to rebuild the Democratic Party in a lot of states so that we have a pipeline and we can begin to, take back governorships, legislatures, as well as try to take back the U.S. Senate and make progress in the House. And we will have the resources to compete. We have a lot of, momentum, and we have a lot of energy and enthusiasm. I'm, looking forward to, the week ahead in New Hampshire and then beyond, and it's going to be a great campaign. I'm ready. I've always thought this was going to be a good contest. It certainly is turning into one, and I think I'm going to be successful in making my case to Democrats and then going on and running against and defeating whoever the Republicans put up.
Madam Secretary, before we unleash you on the forces inside the gym at Lincoln High School, one final question, and that is, compared to a lot of others, you do have a well-financed campaign. You're doing your own polling as opposed to waiting for newspapers to come out with theirs. How optimistic are you? How much sleep have you budgeted for tonight into tomorrow? After all, facing a tough one in New Hampshire where you're battling a neighboring senator.
Well, Brian, it's good to be ahead going into the home stretch tomorrow. But look, this is obviously a very tight race, and everybody is just going to work till the last minute. We're going down to the wire. Every caucus goer matters. I've been telling folks not to worry about the weather reports. There's not going to be a blizzard before midnight, so I hope everybody will still come out who was planning to come out. And I've been all over the state making the case that I'll be a president who will make a real difference in people's lives. And I don't think Americans can wait. I think we've got to get to work. I have a track record of producing results, and that's what I think is going to lead me to the nomination.
Madam Secretary, thank you very much for calling in to us tonight prior to your what's believed to be your final rally before calling it a night on this eve of the Iowa caucuses. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Lawrence O'Donnell, Gene Robinson have rejoined us here in our studios in New York.